Hello Flosstube, Elizabeth Martinez of phantastitches here to do my update number 381. Let's see if I can, we have a new member of our family. See if I can get him up here. Come here, Hank, come here, come here. Can you get a bump up? No? There's a big dog in our house now. We recently got, actually let me move my tablet over here. Come here, Hank. Come here, Hank. Well, here's Rogue. There's Hank, our new dog. My nephew was recently involved in his rescue, basically, and he said, you know, I really like that dog, and sort of, yeah, adopted this dog. And we were a little wary at first because Rogue, my sister's little dog, you know, she's a pretty barky dog and very excitable, I guess you would say. And we weren't sure how the two dogs were going to get along. And so there was a few days of like, you know, barking and unease for Rogue. But fortunately, Hank, the big dog, is very easygoing, low-key, young, playful, whatever. And so they've now obviously become friends. So it's good. We still have to, you know, negotiate the next few days because, you know, various things are going on. As a matter of fact, like we have a showing tomorrow morning, so we'll see how they deal with the stress of that. It's stressful for everybody, but so yeah, so that'll be the first real test for all of us. But anyway, that's what's going on apart from the stitching world. And now to get on with some of that. So I had a little bit of my WIPGO stitching. I had a kind of a weird week this week, and so I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done exactly. And I know. And then I also got some interesting things in the mail. So I'll get to that in a little bit. So first of all, my WIPGO stitching, the first thing I was working on is my number 10 WIPGO call, which was the Barn Owl by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is part of the You're in the Woods series. And when I worked on it last time, I had done the outline of the owl's body. It's in this lighter, kind of yellowish color, whatever you call that. So I was able to outline the whole owl, and I did one of the shades of green in some of these sprigs, most of them I think, and then I did part of this branch. I had done part of this part, and I think I had done all of that, and yeah, and I had done the little cabin, and so and I had done like part of the outline of the face, this orange color around here. I had done some of that, and some of it in the body here, but not a whole lot of it. So there's the dog noises. Hold a minute. Sorry, the dogs are getting a little enthusiastic. So I worked on. My goal was 7 days, and I went ahead and worked on. I think the 7 days was Tuesday. I hit 7 days, but I went ahead and worked on it Wednesday and Thursday, because Tuesday I didn't do, there was a couple of days in there where I didn't do a whole lot of stitching, so I kind of, you know, wanted to do a little bit more, because I wanted to get to like the end of get through some stuff so that it wasn't quite as abrupt. So one of the things I did was I did more stitching in the face. I really only have half of this face done. I haven't done the other half here. But this white, it's Weeks Dye Works Grits, I think it's Weeks. yeah, is the white, you know, in this design. So I did part of the face, but one of the things I concentrated on was this blue color. So I did these things, and I did the black and the white single stitches in there, and then this white of this design here. And then I did the blue on this line and this line and this line. And there's like 2 or 3 more of these like single stripey kind of things across the bottom here. I just didn't have the energy and the time to do. But I did do like there's some blue stitching here, and then there's some little clusters here and there among these leaves, and so I did those. And I wanted to do, there's another shade of green that goes with these, and I didn't take the time to sort of chase that down. But I did finish, I think I finished all of the black down here and up here. I added this branch in. I haven't done the leaves or anything on this branch yet. And then this part of the branch was like partly done last time I worked on it. And so I finished this one little block with I had some thread left over. but so there's more black and white and in this area here throughout this. But I think I finished all of the brown of this color here, and I did all the brown in his body here. So I think actually I'm done with the brown, all that brown stitching. So one of the reasons I didn't do quite as much stitching on, I don't know if it was Tuesday night or Wednesday or the wee hours of Tuesday or something like that, but I actually, it's kind of a red letter day, I cleaned out my box of shame. All those, because it was full of, well, there's still some things in the box of shame, but like I have some loose skeins in there that are just additional skeins of thread that I bought for one reason or another and didn't need to bobbinate them because I still had some bobbins of thread left. But but I had, I'd used that box of shame as a place where it has, a few odds and ends in it, right? So it has these unbobbinated skeins that I have not used yet. And it has several skeins of étoile in there. A couple of them I've bobbinated because I've used them. But for the most part, it's a handful of unused skeins in there. Just because at one point I was thinking I wanted to get like all of the étoile colors, and I did not make a list of all of them, and so I was just happened to be excuse me. So like I said, I had a bunch of some unbobbinated skeins in there, but I had used that box as a sort of dumping ground. So whenever I would finish a project, I would just dump the bobbins in there instead of doing the hard work and putting them all away the way they were supposed to be. So the other day, I just sat down and pulled out all my DMC boxes and all my just random boxes of threads, and the box of shame, as well as I had some of those little the plastic boxes that Doris or whoever makes them. I have 5 larger ones that have my DMC threads all in order, right, all my bobbins. But then I have like 3 of these little boxes, and actually a 4th one. So the three of the little boxes were just empty, and I was using them for like at one point I had a very large project, had lots of bobbins, lots of threads. And I had put the threads in there, and at various points I ended up taking them out. So anyway, I had 2 boxes of just random threads, and then this one, the 4th box I have, has threads that were apparently like, I think they were part of a kit that my younger sister had gotten, and they were all bobbinated and labeled, and she had written like the number and the symbol and the, and then I don't know what they were for, but she never used them. And so she gave them to me a few years ago. And so if I haven't been able to put my hands on threads, I look in that box to see if there's one in there. But anyway, so I left those in there as, because they're already labeled and in order and all that. So I left those in that little box. But all the bobbins in the box of shame and in those two little random boxes, I put them all back in my big DMC boxes. So those are mostly full. There's a few, I didn't take them out of the whatever projects they might be in. So those numbers are still, like missing out of the boxes of those 5 boxes. But at least now the threads that I'm working with currently on whatever project, they're either in that project or they're in the 5 boxes the way they're supposed to be. So if I have to look for a thread, they're in there, right? And then my fancy flosses, I have Weeks Dye Works, I have Classic Color Works, and Gentle Arts. Those are all in their own bins, and they're on those little flexible, screw together rings alphabetically. So except for the ones that are in a current project, right? So anyway, if I'm looking for those threads, I can look in those 3 boxes. And then I have a 4th box that has silk threads in it. I have some from that are the Gloria silks, that I used for the Rabbit series that I did, that I finished as of last year. So all of those threads, I took them out, because all of those rabbits use this basically the same color palette. There's about 13 of those Gloria silk threads that were used in various combinations for the rabbit patterns. And so now I have that set of silks. And then I have some that were, I don't know what brand of silks they are. I can't remember off the top of my head if I ever knew, but they were part of a kit that I bought at the attic years ago that I finished. And so I had this set of silk threads left over. They were like on floss drops that I had bought at some point. So those are in, I have a separate little box that has all those silk threads in there. So I don't have a whole extensive collection, but I have some silk threads. Anyway, so that's one of the things I did, either Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever it was. So anyway, so that's why I continue to work on the brown past the 7-day deadline or whatever that I had for myself. So my next WIPGO number was the number 4 call, which was the Jackrabbit, which is also part of this Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series. So now I've had, of the numbers that have been called for the 4 months, January, February, March, April, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this series, right? Was it February and March? February had 2 of them, March had 1, and now April has 2 of them. So I've been working on them. So anyway, the Jackrabbit was the next one in this for this call, and this is the one that I first saw. I can't remember the name of her channel, but this woman in Virginia was she had some of these. She didn't have a whole series, I don't think, but this she had come across this one, and I just loved it, and so I ended up getting the whole series. So anyway, I worked when I started these, I worked on the one appropriate for the month, right? 1, 2, and 3, like as they go along. So I worked on this one in March of that first year that I had them, and I think these are a couple of years old. I can't remember. I don't see a copyright date right away here. That says when they. Oh, let me see this. I'm gonna read this tiny mini print. 2022. So so I started working on them, I guess, in 23. Was when I came across them. Anyway, so the Jackrabbit, last time I worked on it, I did his face. I completed his face, and I did part of the outline of his ears in this little cabin, and then a few of these little flower thingies up here. I didn't complete them. They're not, I just like did the outside of them. And I did like about that much of his back. There's like one row missing along this where these two gray colors meet. But so yesterday, Friday, I started working on it, and so I finished the darker colors on his ears. And there's some. This ear has the same little white center, and then there's like some orange, around them that I have to find that. I haven't found that thread yet. I haven't looked for it. But so I had, like I said, last time I worked on it, I finished his face because his face is so cute. And I had done all of this part of his body. So there's like one more row of this darker color. I just got to the end of the thread, and I had finished this cabin, and then I had started a little bit of the flowers here. So I'm hoping that now I've got 6 more days to work on it. So I'm hoping maybe I can finish the ears and then, get down here to the body. But I have been using, I think it's $37.99 or whatever this darker color on the ears is. And I've been using a bobbin from that set from my sister. And so the one thing about them is that it's an older set of threads, and so I used it for one of my other projects a couple of years ago, and I noticed that there's a difference in the the dye lot, right? There's a slight change, and so I ended up having to I did kind of a blend. I did like one side of the X on one shade and the other side on the other, so that because when I was first working on it, you could really tell the difference because they were like side by side sections of this is the new thread, this is the old thread or whatever, and you could really tell the difference. And so I'm a little wary of that now, but I think, like I said, for the ears it's pretty good because it's pretty isolated, and I was able to use that same color of thread, I think, for that darker color of the ears. Oops, sorry. But there's some of that down here, and it's kind of isolated. Like there's a little bit on his tail and on the bottom of his feet is all that's left of this darker color here. So I don't have enough to do all of those. I'm actually at the end of that bobbin. I just have like a few things left, so I don't think I have enough to do all of this. It's right here in the tail, and then down here in the bottom of his feet. So I don't know that I have enough to do those sections, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, because it'll be a long time before I get down there because I have to do all of this, to get to it. Yeah. I think I might do this, the flower here on the edge here, because I've got just like one of these little stems, and then the purple part of the flowers here. It's a Week Star Works color lilac. But so I need to work on the body first too also, because I want to actually want to get the rabbit done. That's one of the things, the woodpecker was one that I had last month, and I got the actual woodpecker done, and it's just all the little, tree things that are surrounding him. And I kind of was trying to get that barn owl done, get the owl body done, but it's very complicated and intricate stuff. So like this one is too, with all the little patterns, on his body. But so I think I might concentrate on trying to get as much of his body done as possible. But I still want to do this flowery thing over here. Anyway, so I've only done one day on that so far, so I'm going to work on that some more. And I think I talked about this pattern, I think maybe last week I talked about it. This is To My Dear Father. And I went on this website to see if there were, on this Little Robin Designs website, to see if there was more background information. Or I think I watched a Flosstube of hers, I'm not sure. Maybe it was on the website, I know. But like she talked about, because she has some listed on her website. I guess she has like some sampler reproduction kind of things. And so it has a little bit of history about the samplers, like the original sampler and then her reproduction, whatever. But this one, I believe, is also reproduction. But she didn't talk about how she found it, where she found it, what it's about, or anything like that, or what the significance of this date is. But anyway, I want to do this on my dad's birthday is the 20th, and I do have a design that I had come up with for him that I want to do some work on the 20th. But I also want to start this, and I think this was. I think it was a Nashville release, I think. Anyway, that's around the time that I heard about it anyway. And it has in French up here, of course, à mon cher père. Père, I know, to my dear father. So I want to do this as well. So I have gone to the yarn tree cross-stitch calculator thing, and it's basically 12 by 12. It's 12 by something like 10 and a half, 11 and a half, something like that. So if I've got a piece of fabric that's like 15 by 18, it'll work. So I just have to find one that's like, the right shade that I want to use. And it calls for lots of threads. Week Star Works, Classic Colorworks, and Gentle Arts colors. So there's probably about 22-ish colors in there. So we'll see how that goes. But at least I want to at least get a start on it. So that's all the stitching that I've done. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that came in the mail. The first one is this little Chewy card. I totally spaced this out. I think yesterday was actually National Pet Day or something like that. But this one, I got this card. Like, why was Chewy sending me a card? Some kind of promotional thing, something where. But it's a birthday card because sometime ago, whenever I started ordering from Chewy, it asks you your pet's birthdays or whatever, what pets you have, your pet's names, your birthday, and so this is a little card they sent from my cats, Puck and Snug, because technically one of them was born either the 1st or the 8th of April, my cat Snug. the guy that I got him from, a friend of mine from work at the time, and he couldn't remember whether it was the 1st or the 8th was the day that the cat's were born. Puck, I got him in June, and the vet that I took him to estimated he was about 6 weeks old at the time, and that worked out to about in the middle of April. And so I had, just sort of said, okay, April 15th is his birthday. And so when Snug was born, when I got Snug, since my friend Tracy didn't know his actual birthday, I just made it also April 15th because I knew it was in April sometime. So both of my cats' official birthday is April 15th. Because I figure it's a good way to celebrate tax day. Tax day is yucky. Cat birthdays are fun. So it says, hi Puckett Snug, happy birthday. Here's to another year filled with zoomies, yummy treats, and all the cozy naps. So yeah. So that was fun and kind of unexpected. One thing that was expected, but not really quite so soon, but very lovely to get, was a little piece of mail from one of my viewers, Gloria. So Gloria, thank you so much. Your package came yesterday, or I believe sometime in the last couple of days. So what I had talked about before was how I had looked for cottage garden threads and had been unable to find all the ones I was looking for. So she said, I'll check my stash and see what I've got and send them to you. So this is Shadows, Scandalous, and Silver Birch, which are colors I was looking for. I think these are all in Pigeon and Puddle, as I recall, which is I can't say the name. Blue Flower Design. I believe they're all in there. Check real quick. Yeah, Silver Birch, and Scandalous, and Shadows. These are all from Pigeon and Puddle, as well as a couple that I've, one that I found, the Murray Pine. So at least I can get started on this. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start, but Gloria, thank you very much for these threads. Very kind of you, very generous. And then the other thing I got in the mail was, I was very puzzled. When was it? The end of March. I got a little thing in the mailbox, I think it was. But it was a notice from the post office about a package. And usually, if a package comes, because we have those, like community mailbox things. Okay, so they have a little mailbox for each of us that's about this tall, and they're deep enough to hold a regular probably like a 15 by 17, 11 by 17, 14 by 17 package. But they're not very deep, very tall, right? So if you have a box, there's some package mailboxes, and they'll put them in there and then put the key in your mailbox, right? So ordinarily, if you've got a package, it's in there, and they'll give you the key, and so with the key you unlock the package bin, the box, whatever, and get your package out. And so they have a few of those. But this package required a signature, so they had that little card in there. And ordinarily, I guess, if you intend to try to redeliver it, you sign the card and put it back in your mailbox according to the instructions, and they supposedly get it and deliver it, right? Well, I had signed the little card and I put it back in my mailbox, like it said. And then the next time I went to check the mail, because I was waiting to see if they would deliver it, because I put it on the front porch, and never showed up. And so I was kind of afraid that they had, sent the package back to where it had come from. But the odd thing was also, like it said, from somebody Costa, and I'm like, I don't recognize that name at all. And but I thought, I don't know what it is, some sort of Happy Mail, something, I don't know what. And so I had, like I said, I signed the little card and I put it back in the mailbox. But then the next time I checked the mail, that little card was still in there. And so I thought, the mailman probably didn't see it because it's flat on, on the flat surface. And if he didn't, So I took it and I put it, there's an outgoing mail slot in the, little mailbox in that bank of mailboxes. So I just put it in there instead. And so a few days ago, it came. And I still don't know anything about this at all. So it came, it had a little, what do you call it, customs thing on it. And the name is Andreia Costa. And I do not recognize the name, but it's in Portugal. This person is in Portugal. Well, the package was shipped from Portugal. So, I don't know. If she's a subscriber, I don't have that many subscribers, but I don't recognize the name offhand, so I don't know. But, this package came in the mail, and it came with this paper, right? Little hibiscus, whatever, lilies, I guess you would say. And it has a sticker on it, a gift for you. So I don't know if it was an Etsy shop purchase or how, what the story was. But with these little fishy dishes. So if you are the person that sent these, A, thank you. B, let me know what the story is. Because also in the package there was not like any kind of card or note or anything explaining them at all. Yeah, nothing. So I don't know who they're from. I don't know what they're for. But thank you very much. They're very lovely, those little fishies. Yeah, so thank you so much. Anyway, so I'm filming this a little early because we're gonna film our Three Sisters video tonight because my younger sister had something she had to do this morning. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But I think that's all I have. So hopefully this coming week, I'll have more time I'll have the next days to finish the Jackrabbit, to work on the 7 days of working on the Jackrabbit. And then I still have to do my 2 new starts for WIPGO, Frostbite, which is the little, toothy little snowman, and the other one, the Fox Snow Globe one. And I still haven't quite decided on the fabrics because the more I thought about it, Frostbite, excuse me, is the actual design is a full coverage circle design, basically, And so theoretically, the fabric that it's stitched on doesn't matter except as finishing. Because if I finish it in a circle, like as an ornament kind of thing, then the fabric doesn't matter at all, really. Because I would if I finished it as a circle, I would, gather it in the back and maybe, put fabric or something on the back. and so it wouldn't matter what fabric it's on. But if I finish it, in the model itself was finished like as a square, and so the fabric was a certain, you know, type of fabric, and then just a frame, and so and the design was in the middle. So so that in that case the fabric would matter, you know, if any of the fabric showed in how I finished it. And so I haven't quite decided on that one yet. I don't have any like brilliant ideas. I did see a couple of finished things, like when we were at the attic the other day, last week. Was it last week? Last week. You know, there were some things that were like finishing products for other designs or whatever that were. There was one that was like a kind of a round paddle, or, you know, round on the bottom with a little handle or something. And I thought, well, something like that might be fun to finish that frostbite on it. You know, of course, I didn't know the dimensions or anything like that. But I was thinking that maybe something at Hobby Lobby would be appropriate. I could find something that was the right size or shape or whatever to finish on. Maybe. So I haven't quite decided on what fabric I'm going to use for that. And for the Fox Snow Globe, I don't know. I have a couple of things in mind for that. And then I have to look through my fabric stash for that Little Robin to My Dear Father, Little Robin Designs thing. So that's what I have coming, going forward in the next week or so. Of course, the 18th is Good Friday and the 20th is Easter. So I might do something special on those 2 days. So let's see what I have. Well, on the 20th, of course, I would like to work on the one from my dad. It's Wayfaring Stranger. It's uses a couple lines of the hymn, I'm a poor wayfaring stranger, and then the To My Dear Father design. I'd like to start that. So anyway, those are my upcoming plans. I've got a week before I finish those, work on those. So we'll see where I am next week. But anyway, again, I want to thank Gloria for sending me the threads, and I want to thank this Costa person, Andreia, for sending me the little fish plates. Thanks a lot. Otherwise, I think that's it for me for now. So I will see you all next week, and we'll see where we stand then. Okay, bye.